Please be careful.
Mhm. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. Hello.
Hello. People I recognize. Hello. Valerie,
Yay.
congratulations. I saw in the
Yay.
chat.
Fantastic. You should have it after your name.
Absolutely. Or you could put comma Her Majesty. I think that would be fine.
Oh, that one is for Claire.
Actually, there's a
There's a
majesty
majesty.
in the Alice in Wonderland, isn't there? And Genevieve, not seen you for a while. So there's over 100 registered. We'll give it a few more minutes for people to pop in. We are recording because a number of people have said they can't make the session, but they want the info. Alan's requested singing, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Matthew, I don't mind, but you might all mind. That's the only thing.
Yeah. I was blessed with talents of technology. Singing might be a stretch.
When's your
What
book
about
out, Aaron? Aaron, when's your book out? It's coming out soon, isn't it?
So yes. Hi. Are you saying Alan or Aaron?
Sorry, I said Aaron, but you might have a book as well, Alan.
Not yet. Not yet. Alan's going, what? Did I write in my sleep? It is here. It's going to come out, I think, pre-orders next week and then be out on the 23rd of June.
Yay, so, well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I'm a deer in headlights in terms of what's just happened? Is this real? Pinch me.
Well done. Well done. And so here we are for round 2 of the Magical Mystery Tour. And we've invited back Matthew, the font of all knowledge, with his photographic memory, who can ICF sends something out. He's absorbed it, deciphered it, is that word? And able to regurgitate it within minutes. And really lovely to see everyone. We've got a session that's packed with information. Hopefully you love the slides because we just spent quite a while on the slides and we've had fun creating this as well. So Matthew, without further ado, let us know about the new acronyms and everything else to do with the specializations and advanced accreditations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me again, and welcome everybody. As Claire said, we've got some hopefully very entertaining slides, lots of content to get through, and I thank you for being here. I imagine looking at colorful slides is more exciting than reading a white PDF with just black text. So let's have as much excitement as possible in Wonderland because, as we say, we're all mad here. So let's recap from the last time we met. I actually don't remember the date. I forgot to look that up. It's been a while, and a lot's been happening behind the scenes out there. So probably the biggest thing is that these new requirements for mentor coaching and coaching supervision in the world of ICF have a new name. And this was announced exactly one day after the first presentation. So we will see if anything gets announced tomorrow, but hopefully not. So they are no longer the mentor coach qualification, the super coaching supervisor qualification. They're now specializations, MCS and CSS. Reason? Qualification in some parts of the world is often associated with something academic, as in a university level, so that can create some confusion, and specialization actually ends up being a more accurate word. So your task right now is just to mentally get rid of MCQ, although those are still my initials. That's never changing, but it won't be a designation from ICF. So now a lot of other things have happened. So we are here to guide you along the way and figure out what's going on, what you need to know. Oh, yes, specialization. Yes, they also chose a word that is not universally spelled one singular way. So, oh boy, hang in there, everybody. So let's figure out which way we ought to go. So one of the big changes announced last time was that the ICF is the official term sunsetting. I prefer getting rid of a final performance evaluation, a final scored recording to earn your ACC and PCC. MCC will address that later on. This is, of course, if you go through ICF directly or through a level 1 or 2 program. And so one of the big dates was April 1st, the 1st of April, 2027. And that's mostly true, but there is now an adjustment to that. So this is good to know if you're a coach trainer or if you're a student or participant in a program. So if you've been enrolled in a program, level 1 or 2, before December, so for instance, such as, well, in the next 6, I think 7 months, whichever, your program may still facilitate a final performance evaluation, even if it extends into 2027. So don't be alarmed or think, oh no, they're breaking the rules. No, it's actually going to be okay because ICF wants to support programs and participants to honor what you signed up for at the time you signed up. So whatever you sign up for now is going to be in place. Although if a program were to extend into 2028, that will no longer be an option. So be careful about that. Keep in mind of your own progress and your own program completion. With that said, again, using April 1st as our benchmark, programs can actually start switching as soon as the mentor coaching faculty have the mentor coaching specialization. So it's possible that you and your, if you work for a provider, you can discuss with them, but the application is supposed to come out very soon. We're now in the Northern Hemisphere summer, and that's when they keep saying it's coming out. So as soon as it's out, you and your school can decide how you want to do that. So some people are very eager to get rid of it. Others are in slight mourning, but you will figure out what's best for you. With that said, no matter this is whatever individual programs are doing, the 1st of April, 2027, if you are applying for a credential with the portfolio pathway, there will not be an option to upload recordings. You will be uploading one of the new required forms instead. I'll do a little bit of an overview on the feedback forms. So in mentor coaching, the intention is to be a really focused review on someone's coaching skills, your coaching skills, especially one-to-one, as demonstrated in a live or recorded session. For simplicity, I'm just going to talk about recorded sessions, but you can substitute what I say with the word live session. So there has been a lot of diversity in terms of how mentor coaching is delivered, and that is not necessarily going away, but becoming a bit more streamlined and a bit more uniform. So this is what's now expected of all mentor coaches, and I'm sharing with all of you because as a receiver of mentor coaching, a person who will purchase it and engage with it, you need to know what you're expected to receive, and also as a mentor coach, what you are now expected to deliver. So whichever credential you're going for, there's going to be this new feedback form that has every PCC marker or ACC or MCC behavioral statement listed out. Your mentor coach will be going through one of your recordings, and they will be looking for evidence that you demonstrated that behavior or did not. You'll receive a rating depending on which credential you're going for. They don't all use the same rating scale. Your mentor coach will have to be including timestamps and specific quotes of what you said to justify why you got the rating score you got for each individual behavior. And then at the very bottom, your mentor coach will do a narrative paragraph or so on 2 to 3 areas of strengths and 2 to 3 areas for you to further develop. So that's going to be a pretty meaty document with lots of information, lots of content, and your recording's really going to be looked at from all different kinds of perspectives. For some of you, you might be thinking, Matthew, this is not news. This is what already happens. But for some of you, it's the exact opposite. So it's really important to know that this is what's going to be inspected. So if you had a mentor coach, you deliver mentor coaching where it's more casual, we log on together, we play the recording, we pause and discuss, and that's the only exchange. That method is not necessarily not longer feasible, but there is an expectation of there's prep work done in advance. So this might be a really big shock to some people. Because of that advance of preparation, I mean, that's really the main thing, actually. It's mentor coaching requires homework. You have to do your homework as a mentor and mentee. You get the recording. So that's going to be something you want to allot time for. Because of this level of detail, you might expect other mentor coaches to put different limits on recorded sessions. Listening to a 30-minute recording is a way different experience than a 60-minute recording. Also, many of you might know that when you submit a recording for evaluation, the ICF benchmarks are 20 to 60 minutes, or the limitations. That limitation's going away because there is no final performance evaluation. So individual mentor coaches might establish a different time range. That could be longer. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to guess no one's going to ask you to turn in a 3-hour recording, but that is now okay. I don't know who wants to do that, but just to make the point, the mindset is now, however long a coaching session takes, that's what's worth recording. So if you demonstrate many skills in a solid session in 15 minutes, that's A-okay now. Before we'd have to reject it and say, nope, we can't work with this. It has to be 20 minutes. So something to think about. And because of this the standardization, it's very likely the cost of mentor coaching is going to change and increase. And I've been seeing that a lot of different places in social media, like, oh, it's going to increase. No one's really saying like what that increase might be. So I've done some asking of colleagues. I've done some benchmarking with people who already offer mentor coaching with this level of feedback. My opinion, and I could be totally off, but it may become the norm to see mentor coaching rates as much as $350 to $450 per session. As a mentor coach, you might have to decide if you're comfortable charging that and what's really worth your time. As a receiver of mentor coaching, you might want to look into balancing individual mentor coaching, which you have to have, as well as perhaps giving more to group mentor coaching to save yourself some costs. So in summary, start saving. Now, I also want to give a visual and some understanding of with the end of a final performance evaluation, what's going to happen now with quote unquote, how do you pass? Because there is still a standard to meet. And quick pause, by the way, feel free to use the chat. I have it open. I can see it. So if you have something coming up for you, feel free to use it. I'll be sure to catch it. So right now, you submit one recording. And let's just use an example of good old competency 7. So we have a recording, and we'll use the PCC level for simplicity. The assessor is going through the recording. They're looking for evidence that you've demonstrated the skills. And at the end, they decide which markers get a yes, demonstrated or observed, which markers get a no. So let's just pretend the standard was 5 markers. As you can see from this recording, this made-up recording, in competency 7, it wouldn't pass because we're looking for 5. Even if the agreement was super deep, even if there was so much talking about energy, all that types of things. Nancy, is this for all levels? So not with markers, I'm just using one example, but this general approach, yes, for all of the levels. Well, except MCC, I'll talk about, we'll have a nice MCC chat later in the presentation because its own little world. That's a wonderland in a wonderland. We'll get to that coming up. So this is what currently happens. So again, everything else might be really strong, but hey, if one competency doesn't pass, sorry, the whole thing doesn't pass. And I'm sure that many of us may have even experienced that. We may have had our mentor look at a recording and thought, oh my God, this recording is I'm so proud of it. And maybe you did so many things well, but gosh, just one competency just didn't make it. Moving forward, that's really not going to be a penalty anymore. Now, the minimum is over 3 recordings. How is the coach demonstrating all of these markers or skills or behavioral statements overall? So here's a visual of how it might look. We've got recording 1, which is the same as the one in the blue on the left. I made up a recording 2 and a recording 3. So interesting, if you look across, you see, okay, for each marker, is there at least one yes in the 3 columns? If yes, it gets a point. And therefore, after 3, there needs to be at least 6. That's for competency 7. Each competency has a passing benchmark. It's also no longer a secret. Some of you might know the passing algorithm for ACC and PCC is more secretive than the formula for Coca-Cola. But that's no longer the case moving forward. This is going to be open for everybody to know. So as you can see, individually, recording 1, 2, and 3 would not be a passing call, but altogether, it demonstrates a passing competency. That this person knows how to demonstrate competency 7 in different ways, even just once. Also, everything we're going over today, I should have mentioned this, is accurate as of today. We never know what's going to happen beyond, so we'll do our best to let you know, but this might change, but this is what's currently in place. Another big change, which we went over in our first visit through our musicals, is new program accreditations or new acronyms. So here's one you're going to want to be aware of, AAMC, the Advanced Accreditation and Mentor Coaching. So a new program accreditation. Programs will be listed on the ICF website that go through the process. I like to call these like an all-inclusive hotel. So when you go to an all-inclusive hotel, you pay one fee and everything's included. Room, food, activities, you name it. The same idea with these programs. So you attend a mentor coaching, an advanced accredited AAMC program, and you complete it, do all the work. You will therefore, I'm with you. I would love to do the YMCA. I think that's pretty spot on. Thank you for that comment in the chat, by the way. So you do the program and you will have set up yourself for success. So therefore, you can go ahead and apply right away for the MCS. Note that this is not a requirement. We have lots of mentor coaching has existed before, so we will definitely give some attention to folks who've already been doing some things. So don't worry, don't feel like you're starting from zero. But to give you some information, if you want to run an AAMC program, or if you want to participate in one to get your skills really refreshed and all have everything, again, all-inclusive hotel. I see a comment in the chat. I'll get to that point just a second. So this program will be at least 60 hours. I am aware that it only requires 41 to apply for these new specializations. We'll talk about that. At least 50% will be synchronous or live scheduled learning, as we do on Zoom, as we're doing right now. This is synchronous experience. So it may not be all 60 hours you have to build into your schedule. It might be 30, it might be more. There will be at least 5 observations of your mentor coaching. So you will have someone watch you mentor coach in some capacity. And there will now be 5 hours of mentor coaching on your mentor coaching or on your supervision. We also don't know yet if that means one-to-one only or if it means group. So Claire and I are doing some work to figure that out. But you could also call it supervision on your mentor coaching. So the terminology is quite interesting. But it's going to be overall support of a nature of these two of what you're practicing for mentor coaching. Claire, anything more you want to add about this?
Yeah, just to say, it's actually with the ICF designers, the marketing team. So that should be out any moment. So that will probably come out tomorrow, won't it? And it has implications for people who've done our programs, which we're also showing briefly, who are doing bridges, but it also has implications for anyone starting at the beginning all the way to the end of an advanced accreditation in mentor coaching or supervision. Because if it's group, obviously we won't have to charge as much compared to if it's one-on-one for the mentor coaching or supervision on mentor coaching. We actually absolutely love that there's mentor coaching on mentor coaching, and of course, many of the topics are related to supervision on mentor coaching as well. We've included it in our 40 CCE, which is now 41 CCEs. So we've been doing it for a while, and people always share that the feedback is positive and they find it very useful. And of course, getting that one-on-one feedback blended with group feedback seems to be a good balance, we find, because in group, of course, we learn from each other as well. I know there's a few people from our programs on the call. If anyone wants to give their opinion in the chat, would love to see that as well. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you. So I see we have a question. I believe that's the next bullet point. Let's see if I guessed correctly. Yes, I did. Okay. Would that include PCC marker training and ACC bars training? So that's going to have to be required as part of the training.
So for the mentor coach specialization, you do have to, and you have to do it at whatever level you're going to mentor at. So you need to do the ACC for if you're mentoring ACCs and so forth. For the advanced accreditation in mentor coaching, we're including it in our program, all three. And so you wouldn't have to do it if you do this program. Obviously, we need this first approved by ICF. The system isn't open for us to upload and get it approved. But then at that point, they're clear because of the curriculum that we are including it.
Yeah, so you might be able to get your markers and bars training through a more live experience versus a solely self-study experience. But it is a requirement. Also, there is going to be some kind of final assignment, so that's going to be dependent on the program, but something you're going to want to consider. I see a question. Let's see. How do the AI implications impact this? We don't know. It's very likely mentor coaches will be turning to us AI to help with the assessment. AI can be a helpful assistant, but hopefully it really shouldn't replace all of it, because there's often a lot of nuance that you can only gather from human analysis of a transcript and knowing the culture and the context.
May I add to that one, Matthew?
Please do, not my expertise.
So in our programs as well, and also when we're mentor coaching, we do it the traditional way, and then we use AI as well. Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it talks a load of rubbish. And Ray Notes, for example, just 2 days ago, is now showing the way it can support mentor coaches in filling in the forms. So that's a watch this space. We will still include ways to use that in our programs. We will still use it when we're providing actual mentor coaching. However, we'll see it as an add-on, an enhancement, as opposed to the way we do it on its own. Like Matthew said, both together seems to be the best way, certainly up until now.
Thank you, Claire. A few questions in the chat. I will address a few of these. I know some of them are coming up. The bars and markers training isn't changing, but let me clarify. So there's been a markers training since about 2000. I actually really don't know when, before 2021 or so, with the 37 PCC markers. That's still the same one. There's been no updates to that one. The bars training was just updated in October and December of 2025. So there was a previous version. That version is no longer out there. There is now this new version. So that does, folks who haven't done that version, that is a requirement. The difference between MCS and AAMC, it's a really great question. It's the difference between level 1 and ACC, level 2 and PCC, level 3 and MCC. So a program, an organized curriculum, will get the AAMC. That's the accreditation. And then MCS is for the individual practitioner that is delivering the mentor coaching. And of course, the same thing for supervision, just change the M to a C.
The other thing there is also people are saying, so if I can get the specialization, then why bother doing the advanced accreditation? So this was done also like team coaching, as you know, from a few years back, to show a distinction that people have done increased amounts of training, advanced training, but also it shows that people have been provided with feedback on their practice and not just a little bit of feedback, because the curriculum has got to obviously include quite a lot now. And then also the ways you can go into more detail, ensuring that the feedback that we're providing to our mentees is developmental, listening to recordings, and also feeding back map to the mentor coaching competencies, because it's got to be 60 plus hours for the AACS and the AAMC. It's showing that people have actually done that little bit extra compared to, it sounds awful, but compared to just getting on the registry.
Mm-hmm. So do I go for ACC? No, so not quite. So MCS is for the individual practitioner. AACS, that's the program accreditation. And by the way, these are very valid questions, and I understand. It's like a alphabet soup. I did change the slide. So when we have AACS, the same thing for supervision. And this might be a really attractive offering because some people, I know for me, I never learned about supervision way until after I was already at PCC and just out there. And ICF has never really had a specialization of any kind for supervision, nor mentor coaching, but there was a lot, mentor coaching is, we know about this, it's required. Supervision is sadly not required, even though it's very valuable. So now we have these upcoming supervision programs. So what to expect for these? It includes at least 60 hours of training, again, at least 50% asynchronous, watching you supervise at least 5 times. And here's a distinction between the mentor coaching programs. At least 2 hours of you receiving supervision as a client. And then a separate 3 hours of you receiving supervision on your supervision. We'll find out more of some of the differences, but the first one, 2 hours, might be you receiving supervision on, I don't know, I don't want to say classic supervision, but a case with your client, just one, something going on. But then the 3 hours is very specifically on you as a supervisor and what you are going through and what you're processing. And there's no bars or markers, so there's no training required for that. Oh, and a final assignment to assess coach supervisor readiness. All right. Sean, great question. I did forget about that. We don't know yet. We are finding out. It's the same for mentor coaching and mentor coaching. We're going to figure out what happens with supervision or supervision. Other training with supervision. I'm not familiar. Claire, can you answer the one in the chat? It looks like you're typing, so I think she's already on it.
What was that other question?
If you've done supervision with the other program, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Ashridge. So
Yeah.
it depends. So if someone is, for example, ESIA, individual supervisor with EMCC, or supervisor accredited with AC, then for now you can get onto the registry once it's open. The other way to do it, some programs are not accredited by AC or EMCC or ICF because no programs can be right this moment until things open up, unless they were just CCEs. So in that case, we can, for example, take accredited prior learning. So we can look at the curriculum of what you've done so far, map what's needed, any gaps, to the ICF supervision competencies, and you can do just the required hours to then bridge to what's required for ICF. If anyone wants a one-on-one chat on that, happy to chat about that.
And I think a great way to build on that, Claire, is there is an option for you if you want to get involved in mentor coaching and supervision, whether you've been doing it already, you did some other program, or you're starting from level 0 with nothing. There's an option for you. So no one will have to go backwards. You'll only be building on what you already have done, whether it's something or nothing. So we've talked about the word bridge has come up. So back in McElroy has a couple of bridge programs coming up. So without getting, well, already enough details, what's a few more? So CCE programs, we know them. You got to do them to get there. You get your credential renewed. But those are capped at 40 hours. So you're going to need more than that. And so there is more programs coming up. Um, and there's going to be different options for people. So Claire, would you like to comment on this?
Yeah, sure. So there's people in our community and other communities who have only, for example, done 30 CCEs in mentor coaching or supervision. Our program was originally 40 CCEs, and what we've been able to do, because we cover group in our coach education program, we're adding that to the 40 CCE to make sure that anyone on our bridge program or any new students will actually get 40 CCEs, which means they get enough for the specializations.
Beautifully said.
There's another bridge though. So bridge number 2 is if you've got to that place already and you want to bridge to the advanced accreditation. So we didn't know what to call it, so we've called it Bridge 2. And Bridge 2 takes you to, it's the final bit, which is looking like around 8 hours more after the 41 CCEs, 8 hours more, plus the group and or one-on-one mentor coaching and supervision on mentor coaching, or supervision on supervision for the supervision program. And so that second bridge closes the loop there for people who want to get to the advanced accreditation. That bit for us as well is also accredited by EMCC and AC. So it's actually triple accredited. You get the diploma from AC and you also get the ESQA, the European Supervision Quality Award from EMCC, which automatically, if you're PCC or above, gets you senior practitioner, and the European Supervision Individual Award from ENCC, which means you're an accredited supervisor. Our supervision program, we've called it Relational Systemic Supervision. It's eclectic, it's for in-person and online, and we've not called it coaching supervision. The reason is because it's not just for coaches, and we love the way ICF have put out there that mentor coaches also require supervision. And so we're aligned with that before their announcement. And of course, coach educators at times may need supervision on certain things as well. It also includes shadow consulting, so more on the business side, where you may be, for example, supervising leaders. That's pretty in its infancy. However, we feel we're ahead of the game with that to enable the program to be inclusive for all different modalities. So if you've got the supervision part 2 and 1 from us, all you'll need is extra supervision on supervision, Valerie. What we can't tell you right now until we're told from ICF is, will that look group where we can bring the cost, you know, as low as we possibly can, or will it have to be one-on-one, which it will have to be a tiny bit higher because obviously it works out a lot more of our time. As soon as we know, we'll let you know. But everything else is ticked.
There we go. Let's take a quick detour to mentor coach training. We've got, again, both programs got a lot going on. So here is Bridge 1, and here are the different options for those of you who have done the 40-hour CCE program with Beck and McElroy. This is for the who need 10 hours. So there's still a few spots available on the 8th and 22nd of June, 2.5 hours, 5 hours total with asynchronous or self-study work. Coming up on the 11th, 25th, that one's full. So never mind. Got one coming up in September, a specific one in Arabic in June, one in French in July, and Italian also in July. So last time I said more languages are coming, and we delivered. They're coming. Now you might want the 41-hour start to finish for the MCS. Now that's the minimum is 41, especially if you are not an experienced mentor coaching, you are just getting started. So the full programs, we've got one that started yesterday. There is one coming up begin on Fridays, and then one in October on Wednesdays. Note that the first session of each of these goes a little bit longer to cover some extra stuff.
There's been requests. Yeah, you've seen it.
Yes. There we go. I mean, the rabbit's gonna have some concerns with me. He's always keeping time, so I'll do what I can.
No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. There we go, Ellen. That's the singing bit.
You've met the singing quota. Here's the dates coming up for the 41 hours.
So the level 7 is actually the UK qualification framework, because for the advanced parts of our programs in mentor coaching and supervision, we're obviously sharing research in these areas, articles and so forth. And some people actually do research on their practitioner research for some of the assignments by choice. And so it is in those bits at postgraduate level. That's the only reason it says level 7. And we're always debating, should we delete level 7 because it might confuse people? And yet for people in the UK, they're like, so this is advanced because it's level 7 on the UK qualification framework.
Mm-hmm. Here are the dates for the Bridge 2. Those who've done, Claire, can you do a quick reminder? Who would like Bridge 2?
So if someone's done the 40 hours or the 41 hours and they want to do a bridge to the advanced accreditation in mentor coaching, this one's for you.
There we go. Now, if you want to go through the full journey of Wonderland, here are the dates, the full AAMC start to finish. Now, this is what's going to be sent in for accreditation. So again, the application is not out yet, but this will be the full curriculum as designed. This is for mentor coaching. Supervision's coming up next.
We've always had everything approved first time round as well, so
I was going to say that. Yep. Okay. So those are all the dates, but here's some information that you might want to expect about what to expect in learning about the mentor coach and the mentor coaching trainings. Because mentor coaching, there's different ways to do it. And so here are some ways that you can expect to be trained in and to participate. So maybe you're going through a recording, or let's ask that question in 3 different ways together right now. Quite a lively exercise. You'll get to practice that and learn best ways to facilitate that with people with whom you provide mentor coaching. Questions such as, what ways could you make that more client-centered? What would happen if you spoke less? A question I think we can always ask ourselves fairly often, including myself. Drawing on other types of modalities to enhance the coaching. And other ways to word things. So overall, mentor coaching isn't meant to just say, here's what you did well and here's what you did wrong. Here are all the different options available to you that you just can't see always with your own work. It's really hard at times. So here's what you can expect to hear, and here's what you can expect to ask to create a mentor coaching experience that's quite memorable. Developmental dialogue. Yes. Hashtag developmental dialogue. With the Coach Me model, that's of course going to be integrated into the mentor coach training and give you many things to think about and many skills to reflect on to make sure that you're providing and being the best mentor coach that you can be. So am I giving verbal and written feedback that's specific, evidence-based, and growth-focused? Especially the written feedback. That's something that many of you might need to start practicing if you've never done it before. Thinking about the action experiments that you want to commit to strengthen your mentor coaching or mentor coaching practice. Transitioning. What are you learning about yourself as a mentor coach? How does that improve your contracting? Even how does that improve you leading groups? How are you reflecting? Mentor coaching is very flexible. There's no markers for mentor coaching. So there's a lot that we can integrate, a lot that we can do. So how do we self-manage and not over-direct? How do we say appropriately developmental? How do we not crush someone's souls and dreams by pointing out every single thing they did wrong in a recording? We don't want to do that. Whoops. How do we look at the systems? And then what's the impact that you are having as a mentor coach? So not only are you getting the skills, you're getting lots to think about to enhance your own self. Claire?
I was just going to say, and that last one especially is such a brilliant topic for supervision of mentor coaches. What way are we showing up?
Mm-hmm. So mentor coaches, you can get a lot out of supervision for yourself. So let's talk a little bit about coaching supervisor training. So coaching supervision, do the AAMC include supervision? So supervision on your mentor coaching, which might also be called mentor coaching and mentor coaching. So we're going to find out more about what that fully is going to look like. But yes, that's definitely included and it's a requirement. one-to-one and or group. So here are some dates if you want to really get into supervision. The first bridge is the 1st of July, not 4th of July. 1st of July and the 16th of July. Next, we've got the start to finish for those of you who want to go for the mentor coaching supervisor specialization, the CSS. Couple of dates available. The first one is for the Australia region, so keep that in mind. That's where you are, if you're awake right now or watching the recording. And several available for the UK time, already planning into 2027. And here are the dates for Bridge 2, with another reminder that we can accept prior training, so nobody needs to start from scratch.
And just to share about that, so the 41 is actually what is supervision compared to mentor coaching in other developmental modalities. We go through a number of models, our model, the 7 Eyes model. There's practice, there's skill drills, there's also demonstrations, and a lot about who you are and how you supervise. And then the second part of it, which is now taking it to AACS, but also that means that it's the full diploma from Association for Coaching and the full ESQA for ESIA from EMCC. That is deep dives into different modalities. So we've got in there the business side of the work, we've got spirituality, we've got collage, we've got music, and everyone seems to really love that piece. But then we do existential and psychodynamic and ways to use that one-on-one, but also in group for supervision. So some people do come to us for the second part, even though they've trained in other places, because they want to experience creative approaches for supervision.
And then, as we did with the mentor coaching slides, if you want the full start to finish, here are the dates to become full coaching supervisor across the board, across triple accreditation. Claire, could you do a quick recap on the bridges again? So bridge 1 and bridge 2.
So bridge 1 is for people who want to get the specialization and they just need that tiny bit. Bridge 2 is people who have got the 41 and they want to then get the advanced accreditation. And then the third option is obviously the full program start to finish.
There we go. All right. So now we're going to go over just some other questions that have come up many places and give you some things to think about and be aware of. Also, hopefully to dispel different myths out there and rumors. So here's another change to be aware of. Previously, to be a mentor coach, you needed to the credential, sorry, that wasn't English. You need to have the MCS designation for all the levels that you want to mentor coach. So right now, as of today, you can begin mentor coaching based on the credential you have. That's it. So I'm an MCC. I can go mentor coach in ACC. Anyone going for ACC, PCC, MCC. Starting with the new designation, I will need the MCS for each of the credentials. It doesn't cost extra or really any other different type of work. You have to apply for each, but the process is actually more just so clicking a box. So it should be fairly simple. Just know that you're not automatically able to mentor coach everyone below you. Just because you have the higher credential, you actually have to get the specialization. but that is nevertheless still a prerequisite, having the appropriate credential. Common question about the bars and markers training. You don't need to redo anything except the ACC and MCC bars training. Earning the MCS doesn't necessarily meet the doing the training don't meet the requirements on their own for earning these specializations. So no matter what, you're going to want to do them unless you do the full AAMC program. This has been, if you've done mentor coaching in an accredited program, you have to provide, there's a prior learning pathway for you. And so those folks do not have to have earned a credential. So if you are going for the prior learning pathway, you have to include the names of 5 people who you mentor coached. If you did it privately outside a program, those people have to have earned a credential. Renewals, unfortunately, don't count. So they need to be people who have actually earned their initial credential, the credential for the first time. If you did it in a program, if you had any contact with someone and mentor coached, that qualifies. And that provider will give you a letter you can upload with your application. So just note that distinction of whether you did mentor coaching privately or within a program. So I've made a few comments throughout this presentation about MCC. So we have in writing that the MCC process will be updated. That is all I can tell you because we have no idea what that fully means. Will it go to the style like we showed you with the table? We don't know. Maybe there's going to be a new kind of demonstration. We have no idea. But the MCC world is continuously evolving. As of now and for the future, as far as we know, you are still going to turn in 2 recordings, wait 5 to 10 business years, what can feel like 5 to 10 business years to hear back. 18 weeks is what they aim for. And then and you go from there. Now, with the new style of mentor coaching, nevertheless, with those forms, that's still going to be required. But otherwise, the general process still is the same. But as a mentee of MCC Mentor Coaching, you should be expecting feedback you can take home. Yeah, so if you did mentor coaching within a level 1 or 2 or even 3 program, if you mentor coach, basically had 5 mentor coaching sessions really with 5 different individuals, you've met the requirement. Those students or participants could have done anything, dropped out, changed field, careers, doesn't matter. You get the credit because you did it within a program. If you did it privately with someone who hired you, let's say for the portfolio pathway, those mentees or those people needed to have earned the credential. And ICF will check that for you, but if you know in advance, that can be helpful as well. So these specializations have to be renewed, just like the ACC, PCC, MCC. So some things to think about. You have to have your credential active. So if you let your credential expire, you can't still mentor coach. You have to do 10 hours of mentor coaching education. So I'm sure we'll be seeing more of those programs coming in to keep your mentor coaching sharp. That can include supervision on your mentor coaching. So if you did a 10 hours of supervision on your mentor coaching, that will count. I am in week 14 of waiting. All right, you've got 200,000 more to go, plus or minus 4. Hang in there. The application fee for the MCS is will be a standard rate of $100, but there's actually a promo. If you apply early, it's $50 if you're an ICF member. You can also double qualify, so 10 hours of mentor coaching or 10 hours of training of mentor coaching that you might need for the specialization. That also counts for the renewal of your credential. So they're not separate worlds. They can qualify for your renewal. So you can get the most out of investing in mentor coach training and supervision for sure. There's only one application for the, okay, there's one application covers multiple levels. So you will apply for the MCS, um, and then you will don't have to pay for the MCS again for each credential. So there are technically three different specializations, one for each credential, ACC, PCC, MCC, but you don't have to apply for the three separately. It's the same entity. You'll just clarify which credentials you want to mentor for. And you don't have to pay $50 each time. Another common question has been, do I have to have mentored 5 people per credential? No, you need to have mentored 5 people under the same framework I mentioned earlier. 5 people for any credential and 5 people who earned any credential. So it doesn't, let's just say, just to put a scenario out there, let's say you have only mentored 5 people for ACC, they got their ACC, and you have the MCC, that qualifies to mentor MCC. I certainly hope you would get training for some of the nuances, but that's going to be that is all you need. MCS renewal, I repeat the training. Not sure what that necessarily means. Claire, can we clarify that one?
So you can, in effect, do the same training again. Sometimes we had we had one person who passed our level 3. They'd done their mentor coach training and their supervision training, which are both part of our level 3 program. But they felt they'd done it so fast to meet the deadline instead of renewing their PCC. They wanted to do their supervision bit again. We allow that as long as, the numbers are capped to a certain amount, so we can still give feedback to people. As for when you're renewing, if you did the same program again, I don't know if that would count or it needs to be a different program. I've not seen that written anywhere. Is that what was being asked? Come off mute if you want.
I see a head nod.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that was basically the question because I read it has to be MCC, mentor coaching competency aligned. And at the moment, there is nothing else than the MCS certification trainings, whoever runs them. So it's just like you don't have any other choices than doing it again.
So that's true. And we see that we'll be doing groups of mentor coaches providing supervision and mentor coaching on mentor coaching. So that is another way to do it, like Matthew said, as opposed to doing training hours. It might be even increased learning because the content bit, the sort of knowledge bit, you'll already have already, Khalid.
Yeah, but it's as well, how can I say that? There are so many hoops at the moment, and I even with all your excellent explanation, I'm still not 100% sure what is happening. There has been changes, and you guys said tomorrow maybe something else is happening. And how can I say that? I don't know right now which piece of, I don't even know what to call it, let's say paper, I have to get to be okay for the next 4 or 5 years before the next changes are coming. Is MCS enough? Or is this advanced thing what you should go for? I don't know which one is the the one where I said, okay, I have now peace for a while.
So MCS gives you what you need, and you'd only need from what you've studied, you'd only need Bridge 1. Some people really want that distinction out there in the market, that they've got the advanced accreditation. Possibly it supports for marketing purposes. It also means people have gone deeper into the skills, knowledge, and behaviors of mentor coaching or supervision.
Is the advanced accreditation a Beckett-McEnroe abbreviation, or is that through ICF?
So we will get our program approved by ICF. So the program gets the stamp of approval for ICF's acronym Advanced Accreditation in Mentor Coaching, and the other one, the Advanced Accreditation in Coaching Supervision. So it's ICF's acronym. We've been delivering these programs for almost 7 years now as well. So all we've had to do for the mentor coaching one is add some. And for the supervision one, because it's been approved by AC and EMCC already, we're not adding anything. The only extra bit there is a little bit more of the supervision on supervision.
I will say this, if you are confused, that is normal, and please reach out to Claire and myself. We will gladly help you and respond to individual cases. Often what I find is once Claire and I bless the universe that we understand this alarmingly so well, so we will help you individually, and we will figure out what's going to make the most sense for you. So do not hesitate to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat as well. And I often find that having these conversations, you end up finding out often it's like, oh, that's it? Hopefully we'll give you that reaction, but often you will be surprised at how much is actually A-okay.
And sometimes even voice message on WhatsApp can clarify something super quickly, super easily, as opposed to emails backwards and forwards. So happy to work any way that supports you. Remembering time zones.
Yes.
Although saying that, I've been awake in the night with some of this, questioning myself on, have I got that right? It feels that we can breathe now. We feel we've got it under the Mad Hatter's hat. Anything else, anyone? And we've got Katie here, we've got Mark here, we've got other people from our faculty here to support you as well. And we're lucky to have a global team, because that means that we can all get together, work this out to be able to serve the community. Well, Matthew, once again, appreciate your depth. We appreciate your time and support. We love having you with us. And I think we really are. We're out of the woods. We're out of the woods. Do diddle do do. So there we go. Anything else before we close?
To confirm, when I said there might be changes tomorrow, that was more of a joke. We're not expecting a change tomorrow. We really are. We're hoping not. We just got a little bit unlucky the first time with a change right after the presentation. So if it does happen, we'll call that irony.
Can I ask one question? I think is related to both supervision and mentoring. I think it's both. Doing
Sure.
Bridge 2, does Bridge 2 for both, like, does that incorporate Bridge 1?
So, yes, it does.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
And that's that.
So if we're already registered for Bridge 1, we need to register for Bridge 2?
You just don't have to do the Bridge 1 again, but you do need a little bit of the Bridge 2.
Okay. Thank you.
In any case, I see you on the 8th. whichever bridge that is.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Exactly.
We didn't know what else to call them but bridges, so I hope that lands okay.
Can I also check with the CSS bridge? There were on your slide, there were the two dates, the 1st of July and the 16th of July. But this is the and, not or. Is that correct? So it's doing 1st and the 16th.
The two dates on that one slide are or.
Oh, okay.
So the mentor coaching specialization bridge, we're doing it 5 hours live and then 10 hours async. And so you actually get 15 CCs from our bridge one.
For the CSS. So
Yes.
so those times it's 2.5 hours. Is that what you just said? So like the 2.5 hours equals.
It's 2.5 and 2.5.
Right, gotcha. Okay, perfect. So it's not an and for dates, it's an or for dates. Gotcha.
That's it.
Thank you.
And it takes you about 4 hours to run through the self-learning.
Well,
Because
you did it quick, Khaled. Well
I
done.
just finished it today.
Fantastic. Well done. There's a lot in there, isn't there?
A lot of reading, yeah.
Noel.
Claire, I have one question. Now I'm in level 3.
Yes.
So I want to continue for AAMC and AACS. So I will continue with that part. I take it in the level 3 for the diploma, or I take
No.
a new.
Because some of these changes happened whilst some people are on our level 3. If, for example, you've completed the mentor coaching certification, part of the level 3 already, then you'll have only done 40 hours. So you'll have to do bridge 1. If you're doing it right now, be it the mentor coaching certification or the supervision one, we've added a little bit so you've got your 41 already. It will be included. So it depends if you've done it and we didn't know about these changes, or you're doing it right now and we've changed things quickly.
How about the AAMC? If I want to continue to AAMC.
So that bit, it is extra again, because it's going to be around, once we get clarification from ICF, it's going to be around 8 hours live more, because it's got to be 60 hours of training and 30 hours have to be live. So we've looked at what we want to deliver and it's looking about 8 hours more live, hence the dates on the slides. And it will include more one-on-one. That amount of one-on-one or group for the mentor coaching and supervision on mentor coaching, and for the supervision on supervision, we can't tell you because ICF have not shared whether it has to be one-on-one or we can do it group and one-on-one. As soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
Well, on that bombshell, I got to say goodbye. It is 10
Lovely
o'clock.
having you all here. Yes.
Yeah. See
So
you.
good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Thanks again to Matthew. We'll do another one of these down the line because it's fun working with Matthew and quite liked making these slides together. Yes, so we'll keep you posted on any further developments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Someone entered the waiting room.